Your first home doesn't have to be your forever home, but it should be a stepping stone. A lot of first-time home buyers are purchasing the wrong type of home, and it's costing them their ability to build true wealth. It's not just about where you live today, it's about building it up for the next step and the next step after that. While most people focus on the quartz countertops and the paint colors, the smart buyers focus on the key features that drive long-term value. In this video, I'm going to talk about the types of homes you should be looking at as a first-time home buyer if you're looking to build equity and climb up the property ladder. So the question is, what should you be looking for as a first-time home buyer? Well, there's three kind of main factors, in my opinion, that truly drive long-term value. So number one, location and neighborhood. And this goes for both the neighborhood itself and the specific property and lot. So you want to buy something that is in a sought-after neighborhood, good school zones, something that is likely to grow in value. So a lot of that is determined by the location of the house itself. And the location is the one thing that you really can't change after you buy a home. So you need to think about things like, right now, it's considered more of a seller's market, kind of approaching a balanced market. So a lot of homes that are maybe not in great neighborhoods, or maybe they're backing onto a main road or some railroad tracks or something like that, those homes may be selling in this market. But you need to consider this. If you buy a home today and the market is pretty hot and you're looking to build equity in, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, those homes may not be moving the same way if we are in a market that is more resemblant of a buyer's market. So again, for example, you want to avoid things like living right next to train tracks or backing onto a busy road. Or maybe your home that you're going to buy is the one home in the subdivision that has a really small backyard when that subdivision typically has bigger lots. So you want to be buying something that is going to have good resale value. And this is a huge, huge factor of that. Number two is property potential. Too many home buyers, when they're looking for their first home, are looking for the nicest finish level possible, and they're looking to max out their budget. And in my opinion, this is a big mistake. I'm not talking about the property itself, I'm talking about kind of the finish level on the interior of the property and looking for those HGTV type of finish levels. But building some value through sweat equity is a huge bonus for you if you're a first-time home buyer. Now, I'm not talking about a full gut job renovation, although that might work for some of you. I'm talking about little fixes, and I mean anyone is capable of doing flooring and doing paint and all these little things. There are a ton of little improvements you can make to your first home that can build long-term value and give you a lot more equity on the other end when you're looking to sell. And number three is buying within your means. In my opinion, way too many first-time home buyers get their pre-approval from their mortgage broker, and let's say it's $600,000. And then all of a sudden, they're looking at only homes from $575,000 to $599,900. And in my opinion, this is a big mistake. The last thing you want as a young professional, as a first-time home buyer and home owner, is to be house broke. If you buy something within your means, you can continue to save more money, which will help you maintain the home. It'll help you do some more upgrades to the home, and it will help you build long-term equity compared to if you're house broke and right at the top of your budget. So to make sure you're doing this properly, you can talk to your mortgage broker, and don't just get the number that you're pre-approved for, get the numbers in terms of what a monthly payment would look like at some different values that are under your pre-approval amount. Now, I'm not saying that you should never touch your max value, but in most cases, this is a common first-time homebuyer mistake that I see far too often. Now, with all that being said, here's 5 key features to look for in your first home to help you build equity. Number 1, a sought-after location with a strong school system and a good potential for future growth. This might be based on where it's located towards the downtown core, or maybe a lot of new development, or maybe an up-and-coming neighborhood that is currently turning over with a lot of older folks that have been there a long time moving out and a lot of younger buyers moving in. You also want to make sure that the lot itself is far away from anything that is going to deter buyers from buying that home in what could be a potentially softer market in 3, 4, or 5 years from now. Number 2, you want a home with good bones. And aside from the odd exception, most first-time homebuyers probably shouldn't be looking for a full gut job renovation. You should be looking at something that a lot of the key features, and these are often expensive upgrades, are already completed. So things like the roof, the windows, the siding, the overall structure, the deck, the heating system, things like this. A home that has all these big ticket items completed but needs a little bit of cosmetic updating on the interior should be much more attractive to you than something that has a new kitchen, new flooring, fresh paint, whatever, but the windows are falling out of the house, the roof needs to be redone, and the deck needs to be redone, and so on. Something I always talk to first-time homebuyers about is the effective age. So what I mean by that is how old effectively is the home based on all the big ticket items and the age of those items. So, for example, if a home is 25 years old, but the roof, the windows, the siding, the plumbing, the heating system, the deck, that's all original, all those items are shortly coming up for renewal and they're gonna have to be replaced and likely by the next person who lives in that home. But if you bought a home that was 40 years old or 50 years old and all those things have been replaced in the last, let's say 5, 10, or 15 years, that should be much more attractive to you as a first-time home buyer than the 20-year-old home that has no updates completed. So effective age is something I talk to with a lot of first-time home buyers, and it's something to really keep in mind when you're trying to make a decision in what home you're gonna buy. Number 3, you should be looking for a functional and let's say a normal layout. Let's try to avoid any really unique layout styles in contemporary homes or anything that stands out in the neighborhood as something that's not typical. Let's keep it to a really sought after home plan that's tried, tested, and true, and that is solid for potential resale in the future. Number 4, you want to buy a home that is the right size. And this is a very important point. Let's say that for you, you're gonna buy this home and it's going to be a 5-year plan. I can tell you that as a young professional, your life can change very quickly. Maybe you're gonna add some kids into the mix. Maybe you're gonna get a job offer at a town that's really lucrative and you wanna take it. So that 5-year plan when you buy a home can very easily turn into a 2 or 3 year plan or a 7 or 8 year plan. And the size is really crucial in terms of what home you're gonna buy. Oftentimes, first-time home buyers purchase homes that are way too big. And this is one of the biggest regrets that I see first-time home buyers have after purchasing their home. A bigger home means more expensive maintenance costs, more expensive renovation costs. It means higher utilities, usually higher taxes as well. And it's just space that you don't really need. Plus you need to furnish it as well, heat it. It's really something that a lot of buyers struggle with, and it's really important to get the size right that it can be a good home for you today, but also 3, 4, 5, 6 years into the future if needed, but you don't need nearly as much space as you think. And last but not least, point number 5 is the right price. Make sure you stay within your means. It shouldn't be a question of how much can I afford to borrow. It should be a question of how much can I afford to pay monthly. So it's really important to talk with your mortgage broker about all this and get the payments in place that are gonna make sense for you and your family. Again, you don't wanna be house broke. You wanna have lots of money left over to do things you wanna do because you're young and you wanna be out there and about doing things in the city and traveling and so on. But also you wanna have money to pay for the maintenance and to pay for all the bills that come associated with living in your first home. Now, if you're buying a property that checks a lot of these boxes, you're not just buying a place to live, you're buying a stepping stone, and that's gonna help you climb the property ladder every time you want to make your next move. And there's one more thing I want to put out there to first-time home buyers that I don't think enough of them really consider when they're looking to buy their first home, and that is the idea of house hacking. So what I mean by that is buying, let's say, a 2-unit property, living in one unit, renting the other. So it might be a little more expensive up front, but then you're going to have income coming in from the rental unit to help you offset your monthly cost. I can tell you that this is something that, in my opinion, not enough first-time home buyers look at. And when I think about my personal situation, I did this with my first home, and if you want more info about that and that process, you can see the video up in the corner here. But I can tell you that I would not be where I am right now in terms of the property ladder if I didn't make that sacrifice up front when I was younger and I still had the ability to do it because I didn't need the space, I didn't need the nice finishes like I wanted today later in life. So that's something that you should really consider if you're a first-time home buyer. Now, if you get any value out of this video, all I ask is that you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. button. And if you're looking to buy a home in the HRM and you'd like to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me anytime in the Calendly link below at a time when it's convenient for you. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and happy house hunting.